My special guest today is Corinne Bartow. She's the VP of Fintech Partnerships at MX. Welcome to the show, Corinne.
Thank you, Andrew. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, we're recording this just a little over a week before the MX Money Experience Summit. So we're going to talk about that today a little bit. That's pretty exciting. But can you just start out for our audience who's not familiar with MX and just say, what does MX do? What kind of technology do you operate?
I'd be glad to. So MX is really, first of all, people should know we're very much a mission-driven organization. We're driven by our mission to empower the world to be financially strong. And that means making data financial data accessible and actionable for everybody. So if you think about the way we all engage with our finances today, they can be fairly opaque. It's not obvious what maybe we might want to do to improve our financial pictures. It may not be obvious what we could do. It may not be obvious where to go. So our ideal is to enable that experience of your finances to just be pleasurable and powerful for individuals. We do that through our platform. Our platform is the MX platform. It is designed to optimize connectivity, that's getting the data into the system, making that data actionable, making it usable by individuals and also by systems. That's enhancing, cleansing, enriching it, making it really rich and powerful and usable by those systems. And then either ourselves or with our partners, building experiences upon that data platform that enable this vision of empowering the world to be financially strong.
Yes, and you're specifically in charge of these partnerships, it sounds like. That's your role. Can you talk a little bit about what these partnerships that you're working on are for? What do they do? What are your partners doing with the MX platform?
Yeah, let me talk a little bit about MX in general, who we serve, and then where the partnerships come into play. MX's clients are typically financial institutions, banks, fintechs, or other brands that are embedding finance. And all of those organizations there's no such thing as a greenfield, right? They're all using a lot of different vendors, including services providers, other kinds of technology partners, and others to fulfill their missions, to build what they want to build. And so it's really incumbent upon MX as a member of that ecosystem to partner well to enable those outcomes for our clients. We do also have channels where we don't directly engage with the clients, but our partners do. We have services partners. We have all kinds of partners that help deliver that complete solution, ensure that the client is getting everything they need to be successful. And so that's how we think about partnerships. And it's an ecosystem to unlock the potential and the possibility of the market and what we're all trying to achieve.
Yeah. So a lot of these partners, they're already trying to do things in these areas, but maybe they're just not able to unlock what their clients' data is telling them and give actionable insights back. And
That's right.
you're coming in and is a lot of your work trying to show them what's possible?
Some of it is around what's possible. A lot of our partners do come to us with ideas of what they want to do, and what they know is they need access to data to deliver what they're trying to do. They need that data to be usable or actionable, and that's really where they see MX differentiating. It's really the best possible source of that actionableness of the data, if that's a word. And then I think about working with MX is that we're very focused on not just what's in it for us as a company, but really what's in it for our joint customers and how we can make the overall experience better for everybody. You know, in some cases, these partners have products that we might have an experienced product that is competitive or at least competing for the same budget, and that's fine. We're more than happy to power the experiences and enable the experiences that these partners are building, because there's no way we can do all things and be everything to everybody, right? And then the other thing that we really find is resonant with our partners is it's our intent to make sure that our clients have a seamless experience. And that's really hard to do, and we're certainly not yet perfect at it. I don't know if we'll ever be perfect at it. But when there's a problem that the client has, they often don't know who to go to. And sometimes you see in partnerships, no, it's not me, it's going back and forth, and nobody's helping. And so we really take the approach that in order for us to be successful, everybody in this ecosystem serving these clients needs to be successful. And ultimately, the client needs to be successful, because that's what will drive growth and enable the impacts that we're trying to have in those consumers' lives and the financial pictures that they face.
Yeah, it's a refreshing approach. I get a lot of "we can't help you" or "we can't even point you in the right direction. Deal with it yourself" from
Right,
vendors that I work with. And
right.
so like the vendors that they care about us makes a big difference. You mentioned some of these outcomes that these partners can experience. Can you talk a little bit about the benefits that they receive, like after you sign up a new partner and their end users end up getting access to some of these insights? Like, what are the benefits those companies end up achieving?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of different things, and we do have a lot of different types of partners, so it's a little bit different depending on what their mission is that they're trying to achieve. But ultimately, what I think is really standing out for them is that they can provide experiences that speak to very niche customer needs. So if you go to a bank today, typically you're going to open a checking account or you're going to get a credit card, and it's going to be general purpose. It doesn't speak to your needs, and it's not stitching together those unique pieces that might come from other vendors. So let's take a demographic that has unique needs around maybe sending money internationally, and they also have cash flow challenges. How do you, as a fintech or as a service provider or a financial services provider, serve that audience very specifically? You need to understand them, and you need to be able to cater the products that you're building to meet their very specific needs. And you can't do that if you don't find a way to get to intimately understand their financial lives to start with. So all of this is unlocked by having really great access to data that you can interpret and that you can understand, and then tools to do something about that. And whether those are the tools we build or the tools our partners build, those are the things that matter to those users. In a lot of cases, what we're seeing is a almost like a regrouping of what was all lots of little fintechs, but we're not losing, luckily, that ability to really fine tune and target subsegments of an audience, right? Really get down, maybe not an audience of one, but an audience of similar, truly similar individuals that are truly living similar lives and similar experiences.
It all starts with the data.
It
Can you
does.
talk a little bit about what kinds of data you're using to group these to create these segments and enrich? Like, what
Sure,
would a partner be looking at?
sure. Again, it depends on the partners, but typically they're looking at maybe demographic data, or they're looking at other data from outside sources and trying to marry that with the data that comes from the financial picture. And that financial data is the types of accounts they have, how long they've been open, their balances, maybe some of the transaction history, and then their spending patterns, including, do they hit NSF problems? Do they run into insufficient funds? Or are they strapped for cash? All of that is discoverable within the data. We have a organization, a group that actually does a good job of consulting our folks, consulting not just with end clients, but with partners to help them understand how do we bring these pieces of data together to do better. And I think that's one of the powerful tools that we can bring to bear. It's not just here's our APIs, have at it, but how can we help you solution? And again, every time it comes back to the data. How do you use this data to better target and build exactly the right solution for the problem you're trying to solve?
Yeah. And when a partner gets it right, do they have kind of like an aha moment that like maybe they were doing it in a way that they thought where they were trying to innovate towards something, but they weren't really getting there? Do they sometimes go like, "Oh, I see."
Yeah, we sometimes get that. Sometimes we get the aha, like, oh, well, we hadn't thought about it that way. That's really great. I think the greatest is when partners are together, 1, 2, 5 partners together with a client, and everybody reaches an aha because you're stitching together lots of pieces of information of what is possible. And, we're all creative types, but that doesn't mean we can think of everything. And so when you start to pull partners together to collaborate and help clients as one unit, as one, sort of virtual team, I think those outcomes are really impactful. And I think also it eases a lot of that uncertainty that maybe will come when partners are maybe at arm's length and you're trying to help a client build something, but nobody really knows how all the pieces are coming together. That creates uncertainty. Uncertainty creates risk for everybody. So projects are healthier when you're working closer together.
I see.
Yeah.
And there's this buzzword I hear a lot, like 1+1 equals 3, and people are always saying that kind of thing. But it seems
Right.
like when you're taking this data first approach, if you've got different partners with disconnected data sets, disconnected insights, the real magic you're saying is when you get them to work together to help the client instead of
Right.
maybe competing or not even talking at all.
Yeah, and that 1 + 1 is greater than 2 is usually what you hear me say. That's the easy way of saying actually sometimes 1 + 1 is a lot less than 2, right?
All right.
So how do you at least get to 2 when you do 1 + 1? It takes some collaboration. It's not as simple as your elementary school math class, right?
So you get these partners together, and you've got a specific event coming up in the next week
You do.
where you're doing just that. Can you tell our audience just a little bit about the MX Money Experience Summit, where it is, what's going on there, why they would want to attend?
Yes, absolutely. And first of all, it's a beautiful place, right? Snowbird, Utah is going to be one of the most gorgeous spots to hold a conference. It's not a traditional place to hold a conference. It's a big event for us and for our industry. I think we'll have around 600 or 700 folks in attendance at the event. So it's a very large event. It is at Snowbird. It's a beautiful venue. Everything about the location is just pristine and gorgeous. On top of it, MX, sure, we're a vendor. We're there to educate folks a little bit about our products. But really what happens at this event and what makes it so rewarding for attendees is that networking and connectivity in a very fostered environment. So we have great speakers. We have great events. We have a concert. will.i.am will be speaking as one of our keynotes. We just have all these great things happening. And we make sure there's time for that networking connectivity, and we facilitate it to make sure that people are getting value out of attending. In addition, there are lots of one-on-one meetings with various execs at MX and with our partners. So there's a huge opportunity just to really dig deep into what I think is the premier cream of fintech and financial services organizations all in one place with a mind to listening, learning, and creating, really.
And today is the September 13th, so we're recording this, but the conference itself is September 20th through the 22nd. Where's the best place for people to learn more about it?
So if you go to mx.com, of course, mx.com/summit, all the information is there. Registrations are still open. And I think, if you have any questions about it, reach out either through the website, or you can find me on LinkedIn or another MXer on LinkedIn, and we'd be happy to tell you more about it. I think it's a don't miss event. We had great feedback from attendees last year. And so if there's any way to get to Snowbird next week, come join us.
And if you were pitching specifically to these fintechs that are working in open finance and targeting financial clients and looking to partner, looking to work with data, what's your pitch to them to get them off the fence and get them there?
Get them there. Well, will.i.am's pretty cool in the Black Hat forming.
Right.
That's not nothing. But really, I think it goes back to that creating. Like, we are all trying to differentiate and build the best possible solutions and have the greatest impact. One of the beauties of not just MX, but a lot of our partners is that alignment around how do we just help the world do better with the finances, with their financial lives, with their stories. And there's no better place than this MX Experience Summit, the Money Experience Summit, to really have that conversation, because there's no selling happening. It's creating, it's ideating, it's learning. It's just a real opportunity to learn from the best. And, quite frankly, if you miss it, then you're missing out on some great contacts and connections, meeting a lot of great partners from MX, clients from MXers themselves. There's no reason not to attend. If you ask me, unless you are going to meet somebody really important next week that you will never get another chance to meet. But if you're looking to meet folks in the industry and just have really open, creative, exploratory conversations with a mind to achieving, measurable ends, something really that matters, I'd say just hop on over, even for a day. Just come on over.
You're going to get me there. If you want to be part of the innovative conversations about what's happening in money and improving the money experience, check it out. It's mx.com/summit. It's September 20th through 22nd in Snowbird, Utah. And it was a real pleasure hearing about it. Corinne, thanks for being on the show and helping promote the conference.
Absolutely. Anytime.